Summertime in the garden. It's filled with fresh produce, green beans, peppers, fresh tomatoes. And there are a great number of ways to preserve them so that you can have fresh, good-tasting vegetables all year round. What I'd like to talk about today is one of the ancient methods of preserving fruits and vegetables, sun drying them. You build a frame and dry them using the energy of the sun. I'd like to show you how to build this and preserve your own tomatoes, bananas, apples, or whatever. We start with an ordinary untreated piece of lumber, a pine 1x4. We're going to cut it into 16-inch lengths to make all four sides of the box. And of course, you can make yours any size you want. I'm going to make mine 16 inches by 17 inches. Properly drying your fruits requires not only the heat of the sun, but ample ventilation. So the screen wire and holes drilled in the sides of our 1x4s help with that process. So what we're going to do next is mark where we'd like to drill some holes in the side of our frame before we assemble it. You can use any drill you want. The bigger the holes, though, the better. And if you can drill 2 or 3 or all 4 at once, well, frankly, you're doing better than I can. 2 at once is about enough for me. You'll notice that I put a piece of scrap lumber underneath what I'm drilling so I don't make a big hole in my tabletop. Here's a handy tool for making any kind of a square frame. It's a corner clamp, and it allows you to put 2 pieces of your work together and clamp them together at a perfect right angle. If you don't have one of these, you'll still be able to build one of these frames, but this makes it a lot simpler. Clamp in one side, then clamp in the other, and we're ready to pre-drill the holes for our screws. Pre-drilling our holes not only helps to get the screw in more easily, it also gets it in straight and it prevents the wood from splitting. Get the screw started, and then with the frame constructed, the next step is to cover the bottom of it with screening material. We want to use a plastic or fiberglass material. Metal screening would actually flavor the foods. And speaking of flavoring the foods, we also want to dry very strongly flavored foods separately, or they'll flavor your other foods. I've also cut some triangular pieces of 2x4. These will act like feet on our frame to raise the frame above the ground and allow that good air ventilation that we need to dry our foods. Your completed solar dryer will look something like this. The tight-fitting screen, holes in the side, little feet to keep it up off the tabletop or the soil surface. Now, to prepare your tomatoes for the solar dryer, take them inside, wash them off, and then slice them. Takes a good sharp knife to slice tomatoes, but slice them into fairly small pieces. They'll dry more quickly. And then arrange them in the dryer so that they're not touching one another. Once we get them all in there, we cover it with a piece of glass or plexiglass, and that actually makes kind of a greenhouse effect that warms the tomatoes quickly and dries them out in 6 to 10 hours. If they're not completely dry, take them in at night. If rain threatens, certainly take them out of the rain. But in one day, 6 to 10 hours, you'll have fresh, dried tomatoes for use in soups and stews all winter long from the great outdoors.